All right, here with one of the greats of Australian boxing, Denny Green. Denny, a massive opportunity for Alex Winwood this week.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very exciting. This brings back fond memories. I used to fight back here a lot. We used to sell it out, and the whole place would be jammed. And it's just such an exciting experience. And I know how Alex is feeling at the moment. It's huge, and it's the WBA world title, the oldest sanctioning body in the sport of boxing. And he's fighting the champion. He's 24-0. And been reigning champ for a long time, and he's on the cusp of achieving something really special.
How would Alex be feeling right now, do you think?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty calm. It's really difficult to say how he's feeling, Jay, because everyone's different. So I don't know how he's feeling, but I know how I used to feel, and the nerves are jumping. But then walking into here and looking at the venue and going, I'm about to go in there and potentially knock someone out or potentially get knocked out myself, it just makes you feel alive.
What do you know about this guy? A lot of experience, been a champ for 8 years. What are his strengths in the ring?
I reckon I've looked at something, saw something that we could expose on this guy. And his inactivity for the last 2 years, he had a few problems with the promotions and etc. and the fight fell through, so he has been inactive for 2 years, not through any fault of his own really. So that's a factor that we think we're going to be able to expose. Alex has had 2 really good 10-round fights in the last 12 months, really hard fights against top 10 opponents. So, and he got hurt in both those fights and responded very well, and that's what happens when you're fighting quality opponents, top 10 opponents. You're going to get hurt unless you take them out early. So he's responded well. He's grown a lot in that time. Thammanoon's kind of levelled, I think. His age and his inactivity is going to play a factor in this fight. I really feel, and I think that Alex. I won't be surprised if Alex blows this guy away. In saying that, if he doesn't blow this guy away, then he's going to be in for a very, very hard night, and it's just a matter of Alex staying cool, staying calm, not getting overawed. That's where the guy experience is going to play for Thammanoon. Niyomtrong, that's where his experience is going to come in. So if he can survive the early onslaught, then it could be a very difficult night for Alex.
What advice have you given Alex in terms of dealing with this, the scope, the scale of this sort of event?
I just keep saying to him, don't let anyone take your energy, mate. Don't let anyone suck your energy out of you. That's what happens. And you can't see energy, you can't pinpoint or put a number on energy or whatever it is, but it's there, and people suck your energy when you're a fighter going for the big time on the big stage. People suck your energy out of you, and that's just by saying hello, and they don't mean to. And a lot of people are energy fucking drainers. They just suck the energy out of you. I'm like, mate, stay away from people, stay cool, stay relaxed. I said, no one's here. At the press conference, the public one, I said, mate, no one's here. You're here, you're doing this, just forget everything else and focus on what you have to focus on. Forget all the shit around it. So the main thing is just keep his energy and don't let people take his energy.
Cool little venue here. What are some of your best memories in Perth, fighting in Perth?
I had so many big fights. My first big pro fight was here. When I say big, it was I had big fights in Sydney when I first turned pro, but to fight in front of 5,000 people, the whole stadium was open and it was jammed. And so then after that, we'd get a lot of another reminder, I've got to do some more shit. It was just an awesome atmosphere to come into. I won the WBA light heavyweight world title here. Beat some good fighters here, defended my world title here. Fair few times, and it's a very special place for me because it's really hard, and I wish you could go back and you can watch videos. It doesn't do it justice, but when I used to come out, and not because it's me, but I'd come out and this place would be better than I fought in big stadiums. I fought in front of nearly 40,000 and 30,000 and 20,000 overseas. Fought overseas, against Eric Luger, there was nearly 20,000 there, and Bayer big fights. But this stadium is condensed and compact, and I don't know, man. It was epic. It was really epic. Like the walkout from there to there was something that I'll never ever forget, and could never quite clearly articulate the feelings that it gave me.
Saw you on stage with Chalk yesterday. All good there. No beef still there with you and Choc.
Oh, there'll be beef to the day we die. One of us dies, and then the beef will be over. I hope we never die. But it is what it is. Choc and I have had a long history. It's real. I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for the bloke, and always will. And I know he does for me. But he can't count, and he's been peppering me for a third fight. Come on, bro, it's 2-0. Now it's 1-1. He wants to butter me up and say it's 1-1. You can't count. It's 1-0. It's cool because no one's ever gonna beat it, and there's really honestly, Jay, there's only about maybe 10 or 15 in reality that know the numbers on the first fight. No one knows. I know. A few people know. Not many people know, and they come up with all sorts of crazy numbers and silly numbers and stupid numbers. It's never going to be eclipsed. Not in your lifetime. Not in a 20-year-old's lifetime. It's never going to be beaten. That's something special, man.
When you look back on that event, and you see the rivalries today, like Zarafa, those sort of guys, do you sort of look at that and go, you guys have got a long way to go to reach the scale that me and Choc did?
I don't think Tim's worried about that. I don't think Tim has any rivals in Australia. There's no rivals for Tim. There's no rivalry in Australian boxing. There's no real rivalry. They might have a bit of beef over a bit of time, and they might talk it up and say it's this and that, but there's no rivalry. There's no real rivalry. When you, and this may sound like I've got my head up my ass, but I don't mind saying it because I know everyone else, if they had achieved what we had achieved, would be fucking, they'd have a tattoo on their forehead nowadays. These punks don't know shit, and so no one's. They don't understand it. Like when you're stopping a nation, like there was more people, like everyone remembers what they were doing that day. It was crazy. It was bonkers, and I didn't realise how big it was until down the track after it, because Choc and I were doing it. But it was you can't explain how big it was. And so the rivalries today, they're brief and they got a bit of beef, but not when Choc and I had the front page of newspapers for years, the front page of newspapers. Now, any bozo can get a hit because it's social media. So it's crazy to think what we've done and what we did, and we've both been pretty cool about it. Like as I said, if some of the guys running around today, if they'd done that, they'd have a tattoo in their forehead, so everyone knew about it. Like, fuck man, just be happy you did it. So yeah, it is what it is, mate. No one's these rivals today. I don't know. There has to be that real feeling. And there was real feeling, not just between the fighters, but in the community. The entire community, the entire country was at stages up in arms. People died. There was 2 people killed in fights, on both fights. Both times we fought, a person died each time fight we had. Such was the intense rivalry around the whole country. Now, I'm not. That makes me very sad. Makes me very, very sad, and I wish that never happened. But when that shit's going down, and it's, we're getting blamed for riots that happen around the country, like the Cronulla riots were brought into it. The night we fought here, the next day the Cronulla riots went off, and Choc and I got, not Choc and I, but there was a part of it was to blame for that. Like, it's full on.
So it can't be sort of manufactured, that was genuine sort of beef, hatred between you two at the time.
I wouldn't say hatred. There was a lot of hatred from other people. Keep in mind, Choc decided to bring race and religion into it. I always said, we got a chance to unite people. You're choosing to divide. I don't agree with it. I've always said, I will never bring race or religion to it because it's got nothing to do with what we're doing here. And unfortunately, Choc went down that path, and it was what it was. So then, and the media have a lot to answer for too. The media ran the whole show. They were running it because they love it, because the media don't want to see me and Choc shake hands and hug it out and go, hey mate, a lot of respect. They don't want to see that shit. They don't sell papers. They don't get clickbait going. So, but it all worked out in the end. Here we are. And we have a lot of love and respect for each other, and I wish nothing but the best for the bloke. But I'm just, it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to knock the bloke out. in our second fight. First fight, I wouldn't have bruised a grape, the condition I was in, but it was what it was. Chock showed up and won the fight, and performed awesome on that night. And it was what it was, but it's going to really bug him that he goes to his grave with me having a victory over him in my last fight. It's going to shit him to tears.
Do you still watch the fights these days? Who are some of your favourite sort of Australian fighters? Obviously, you've got Liam Paro, Tszyu, Opetaia, Kambosos, Maloney boys, some great talent there.
Some awesome talent. Australian boxing's in a great position. Has been for a long time. Timmy Tszyu and I really enjoy watching him fight. I really enjoy watching Nikita fight. He's a tiger. He's entertaining, and he loves it. And I like his style. I like him. I like the way he holds himself. He's a cool dude. He's a different cat, which is great. And George Kambosos has had some huge fights, massive fights, and brought some massive fights to Australia. Massive, been awesome. Opetaia's on a fucking tear. He's an animal, and I just hope he can consolidate and capitalise on what he's doing at the moment, and unify and have a long run, because he has got the skill and the power and everything. He's got it all. He just needs to capitalise on that, and I think he can. And Maloney boys have been around for a long time. They got maybe one more shot at something great, and they've been magic for the sport of boxing in this country. Liam Paro, world champion, took out a guy who was a feared guy in his backyard. Huge performance. And I don't like naming fighters, because I forget some guys, and I don't want to forget anyone. So if there's anyone I've forgotten, I feel terrible, because I have so much respect for all the fighters out there. Anyone that gets in there are some, there's some clowns, but there's some awesome fighters in this country, and it's in a great position. It's going from strength to strength, and it's in a very healthy position. And to be a part of that, I got inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame last week, and to have that now as part of my legacy. I've always loved fighting, and I've always loved boxing, and I've always been a real pro when it comes to it. And I nearly died here in this stadium. I was very close to lapsing into a coma after fighting my heart out in this ring in 43 degrees heat outside. The aircon broke down in here. Would have been under those lights, minimum 55 degrees. Fought 10 hard rounds. It was crazy. So I've always I wanted the people who followed me to know that I'll do whatever it takes to win. Sometimes I didn't. It was what it was, but no one can accuse me of not giving my all. And that's something that I'm proud of. And to be a part of boxing history in this country is something that I've always never dreamed of, because I never thought it'd happen. But I look back now and go, far out, man. This is pretty cool, because I've just always loved the sport of boxing, and will love it to the day I die.
Absolute legend. Thanks so much, man.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks very much.